Hello and welcome to Light of Knowledge International. There's so many topics that we cover in every episode. Sometimes there are questions that we have but we never dare to ask. Sometimes we ask questions but nobody dares to answer. Sometimes we want to ask but we do not want to ask. Sometimes people want to answer but they do not want to answer. So in the Light of Knowledge episodes, we often discuss about things that might be usual, or sometimes things are usual but not usually straight. So let's get this straight, and today we are here to talk about self-love. Love is something that has inspired people for centuries. It is something that people have often wondered about. And when I talk about self-love today, a question comes to my mind. Self-love? Is it not supposed to be selfless love? So let's see what we have in the box today. Today, we have Brother Michel, who looks after the Brahma Kumaris services in Serbia. He has been with the Brahma Kumaris for more than 40 years, and he is our resource person today. Michel, welcome to the show.
Okay, thanks. It's my pleasure to be with you.
So when I speak about self-love or love in general, many people think that love is something that is selfless. Love is something it is all about giving. And yet we often misunderstand love. And it is something that I think as a virtue, it is something that is often misquoted, misinterpreted. So I would like to ask, what is self-love? If you have a definition that you would call, this is self-love, so what would it be?
The definition of self-love, will be like give yourself the best so that you become so happy and so good so that you can give the best to the others. Because again, if you are not happy with yourself, if you don't care about yourself, even if you don't love yourself, why other people will love you and which kind of love you can offer to people as well. So that is why, and in life we know that everything starts with me, So as I take care of myself, then I can take care of others, because if I know how to take care about myself, it means I know the process, the way, the manner, the method, to take care of the others, At least let's start with myself, so that I'm the best example for me to know what is suiting me, so then I can maybe understand, what can be suitable for the others. And anyway, on the same line, bit connected, we say, if know yourself, then you will know others. So like that, if you love yourself, then you can love others, and others can love you as well.
As a definition, it strikes really good that if you love yourself, then you can love others. But often we are also told that loving is all about giving. It is not about putting yourself in the first place. It's about thinking about others. Sometimes there is a conflict between self-love and selfishness. So I don't know if that is really true, but if you think about yourself, if you start loving about yourself, then people think, oh, he's too selfish.
When you love yourself, it means, again, that you get something good, and so that you have something to offer to the others. Selfishness is you want everything for you to keep for yourself and to forget about the other, So it's very, very different, about self-love and selfishness or egoisms, It's just me, and then other doesn't exist. But, self-love, in fact, self-love, it means that I want to become better. Usually when you have ego, you have already a set of personality and you don't want to change that. You may think that I'm strong enough with that, you reach a point where it suits you, you are attached to it, you don't want to change it, and you try to do as much work as possible with that, But with self-love, you understand that there is always something better for yourself to bring to yourself, so you can improve. And usually the ego, doesn't think so much. It may improve for beating the others, the ego, like in competition, But for self-love, I want to improve myself, to give something good to the others.
So when you say this, there's a difference between selfishness and self-love. So when you're selfish, you are wanting everything for yourself. But in self-love, you said that it is about taking care of yourself. Most often we see that when we see that we are selfless, it is also often called as a noble idea when people say that love has to be selfless. So it is something that is purely with an attitude of giving and not really thinking about yourself at all. So what do you call about selfless love then?
No, okay. No, the thing is, we have to make maybe a distinction in between. Okay, there is a time for taking care of myself, giving as much as good to me, and also, but because once I'm satisfied, with my, let's say, my own love or my own inner satisfaction, I can be totally open for the others, and my love doesn't have any expectation and desires, and my love can be inclusive and without any motivation, or behind it. Yes, because I'm already satisfied. But yes, because usually, that is the beauty of life. Each and every human being, has quite a lot of inner resource. And we have resource of positive energy, of goodness, of benevolence, of caring, of peace, of wisdom, knowledge, more and more and more. So we have that, But, okay, you give, but at some point, and also, how do you give, because there is also the art of giving,
Yeah.
and because if you don't give in a proper way, in the proper consciousness, then your inner resource diminish, and as it diminish, you feel something is missing, and when something is missing, then you start to think, and what's about me,
Yeah, then you are totally empty and you feel that, I've given so much and there is nothing left with me.
Yeah, and also usually because life has a very particular way to work, in the sense that you may love someone and that one is very happy with you, but the way that person will give you back that love will be in his own way, at his own time, and you never knows when he comes and how he comes, and sometimes you don't even recognize that this is the expression of love, because expression of love is not just to say I love you, but the expression of love is maybe, I buy a computer for you, or I teach you something, or I give you a good advice, or, I facilitate something, or I find some person which can help you, in your job, So, there's thousands of ways to express my love for someone. And based on love, and selfless love or spiritual love, I will say, what is the definition of spiritual pure love, is to give to someone something which is good, which is giving a lot of benefit to the person without thinking that I will get a return from that. And that is absolutely pure selfless love,
So there is no expectation of any sort that when I'm doing this or when I'm giving something, I do not want anything in return.
Yes, I'm satisfied. I have something to give, and obviously, I have the pleasure to take something which I have, which in abundance, and I give it to you, and I see that you receive it with pleasure and happiness, and seeing your pleasure and happiness of what I'm giving, that's giving me the happiness already. So I already get something, by seeing your happiness. But because I have already something in abundance,
So when you were saying about the ways how we give love, you said that there are different ways and thousands of ways of expressing love. But when we talk about self-love, what are the ways how a person could love oneself? First of all, it is a very foreign idea for some people to understand self-love. And if you would say that, okay, after listening to this, if they say that, yeah, self-love is also important. If I do not love myself, probably I cannot love others. But how do I love myself? Because most of us have always understood love as an external expression, that it is applied to other people. But how do we apply it to self?
Yeah. Okay. Already, if you understand that the expression of love is to is to give benefit to the others, you know. So to love myself means I will give benefit to myself, you know. So all the aspect of improving, becoming better, finishing my weakness, my defect, my difficulties, my problems, learning more, being more knowledgeable about any subject which is important for me, for my daily life, you know, my job, you know, to have a better attitude and understanding, behavior. So, you know, all of that, you know, is participating to my self-love. You know, I become better and better in many aspects. And but it's a work. It needs time, it needs attention, it needs the self-awareness, you know, and that is for me, you know. But because I give to myself something good, which allow me to improve myself. You know, when you improve yourself, for me anyway, in my way, when I get something which is good and it's giving me benefit and I take advantage of it, I always like to share with that others, you know, and my sharing is the expression of my love for the others.
So it is when a person actually has something inside, then there is a natural feeling of trying to give it out to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, as we say, if you are empty, what can you give? You know, you know. Yes, so obviously you have to fill yourself, you know, and otherwise, you know, if you are empty, I don't know what you can give, and I don't know what is your intention and your expectation, and it's mainly more manipulation that really love, you know, that, you know, so we have to be careful about, you know, about which word we use, you know, properly. And even for a person, when someone, you know, is coming to me with the so-called intention to give me love, let me see if it's real pure love or anything else, you know, behind it.
Yeah. Most often we say that when somebody tries to offer something to us, when you use the word pure, often we see that there is a hidden intention, or even though we might not call it a hidden intention, but there is something that they also expect in return. Not probably money or not probably gifts or anything, but there is sometimes that they expect support, time and energy. All of these things are expected out of you when people give something to you. So how do you see that? Because it is not something physical that is expected in return, but there is something else which is more personal of nature, more time and energy and your support and maybe your good wishes or maybe something else, but these are subtle things, but that are also expected out of you.
Yeah. Okay, I will say, you know, it's like, what is the best way, you know, to relate and connect with someone? By giving something good to the person, you know, so that then in both of us we'll have the good memory of that moment, and because of that good memory, when we'll meet again, it will be easy to meet again and again to have a relationship, because we are human being and we are social being, you know, and that is why when you say self-love will looks a bit strange, you know, because yes, the love is for society, for family, for sacrifice for the others, you know, but it's because I have that love, I want to connect with the other as well, but because we are social being, but I'm still, you know, a very specific, unique being, and which creates his own life by himself, but still, I still need a relationship with the other. So the best way to keep on and maintaining my relationship with the others, you know, is by giving love, you know. Obviously, the thing is, you may say, but no, it looks like there is some expectation behind it. But if I give something good to you, you know, to someone else, to my neighbor, to my family, to my colleague at work, you know, it means that, you know, it's like, I will say it's like an investment, you know.
Yes, it's an investment, of course.
It's an investment. And, you know, so when a person is rich, you know, he lives with his own capital, and what he's investing, he doesn't think so much about it. He knows that it's working with time by itself, and at some point he will see that, oh, I have so much, you know. And it's the same, you know, you invest by giving love and giving something good to everyone which comes to you. And you still, because you have already your own capital of goodness, and you still will live with that, and you are very happy with that. And at some point you will see that this one comes to me with a big smile and, giving cooperation, and, at the time of need, this one is there, and I meet this one on the street and we have very good conversation, and that is the return of love, because there will be a return anyway. And that is why you have to make a clear distinction in between, expectation and knowing there is a return, So I may know there is a return, but I don't expect the return. So I don't expect the return when I'm still going on with myself and I'm very happy with myself, busy with myself, doing what is right for me and feeling myself as good as possible. And just let me observe when the return is coming, observing in a neutral way without a desire behind it. Very subtle, but obviously it's very easy to move from one side to the others.
Yeah. So when you said about knowing that it's an investment and it will give a return, maybe not today, tomorrow, later, some other time, that will come back. This is the return of giving love to other people. But what about the returns of self-love? If I'm involved, that I would give love to myself, if I'm giving time, energy and space, sometimes trying to learn new things and taking care of the body, myself, all of these things that you mentioned, if I am investing that much to the self, is there a return as well?
It's a result. So you have, instead of return, you have instant result, because if you take care of your body, you feel healthy, in good health, then you can do your work, and that obviously is helping you a lot,
Yeah.
So you can work, you can get your money, you can meet your friend, you can, whatever, you have your social life because your body is sweet, But, if you have any trouble, illness, sickness, and you say, well, I better stay at home and not to go to the party or go to job or whatever it is,
Yeah.
So instant result, So that is the difference in between when you work with others and you work for yourself. With yourself is instant result. But when you give something to the others, at least there is a result. The result is you change as you go along in the relationship. The quality of the relationship is changing as you give something good. And that is already a result by itself.
Yeah. So it is not really a return that we are looking at, but there is an instant result as an act of self-love. There are a few friends of ours who could be watching the television at the moment, and they would be thinking, okay, this looks like a good thing to do, but if I want to start loving myself, where could I begin? What are the few things that I could start doing so that would result in self-love and in turn better results for myself?
Well, as I already said, it's like have the self-awareness, check if you're happy with your thinking, are you happy with your life, with your relationship, or can you improve yourself in all the field of life? It's like, usually for me, it's like what's given me the first happiness in my life by myself is to study and learn something which creates some newness, which refresh myself, my mind, my brain, and I'm already happy, so a level of satisfaction, and that is already loving myself, So the learning, I will say, is already a very good step, Always learn something, because we are being for learning, and just to accomplish that act of learning every day is an act of self-love, in fact. Even that, And already when you are happy, you have you think better, you have more attention, you are more alert, you are ready to do, you are more motivating, and you are ready to conquer any difficulty or trouble or any weakness inside, So all of that participate, to love yourself.
So it's not just one thing. When you do that, then there are other things also that are coming in together.
Yeah, as soon as you go out, you meet people, so you can speak and according to the way you speak, with enthusiasm, or a bit tired, the impact on the others, will be different, and when the others leave you, it will be also an impact on you,
Yeah, Brother Michel, when you speak about self-love, it at first appeared something which is out of the box. It is not something that we can all do, but now at this time we feel, No, this is something which is very doable. It is something that everybody needs to do. And because by the way of doing this, we are not just doing a favor for ourselves, but we are actually enabling ourselves to give more to people out there. So it increases our ability to love others furthermore. And I think I had never thought that we would come this far with self-love, which translates to loving others as well. And thank you very much for being on the show and helping us to come to this journey where self-love translates to loving others better.
Yeah, we should not be afraid about egoism or selfishness. It has nothing to do with that. Yes, as long as I have the desire, intention to give something in return, to the others. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Michel, for coming on the show, and thank you for sparing your time and your insights and helping other people with the ideas of love.
It was my pleasure to share with you. Yes.
Thank you so much. Friends, that's all on Light of Knowledge International. And today we learned so much about self-love. When we began, I especially thought that self-love has a meaner thing to it. That means it is only about the self. But now I'm going back with an understanding that if I love myself, I can love others better. If I am full, then probably I can give more to the world outside. Thank you very much for being with us on the show. We will see you again. Till then, take care.